We're gonna make the most delicious chilaquiles with salsa verde today. They're my favorite way to eat chilaquiles and I cannot wait to share them with you. We're gonna crisp up some beautiful tortillas, we're gonna make our own salsa verde, and then we're gonna unite everything and top it with a fried egg. Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura the Kitchen, we are making chilaquiles. Now, like I said, I'm doing this with the salsa verde because it's just my favorite. But in the future, I'll also show you how to make them with like a salsa roja, like a red salsa. But you can make them with any salsa that you like, whatever you prefer. I just love them this way, with a fried egg on top, some red onion, some cilantro, some queso fresco, and it is so good. It kind of like brings me back to like brunch in the city, you know, a couple years ago. So I'm thrilled to share this recipe with you. Please know that this is just my take on it, so don't come for me, just love it, make it, enjoy it, you will really love it. I'm gonna start with the salsa verde. I've got some tomatillos here. When you get tomatillos at the grocery store, they come in these like papery husks, and you need to peel away the papery husks and you need to wash them really well because they're quite sticky. Now, please don't mistake a tomatillo for a green tomato because they are not the same thing. Tomatillos are actually part of the gooseberry family, so it's not a green tomato. I'm only saying that because I've had that question before, and I know people that have made that mistake, but it's not the same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and just add my tomatillos. I've got one jalapeno. This is a really spicy one. I'm gonna add that right in. And I'm also gonna add some white onion and garlic to a saucepan with some water. You could also roast these all together and make a roasted salsa, which is actually really delicious. A bit more time consuming, and I don't really have a whole lot of time today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add garlic, and like I said, my tomatillos and jalapeno and some onion to some water. Bring it to a boil, let it simmer 10 minutes, and we're good to go. I'm gonna use some red onion. Mamma mia! That garlic just did not want to come out. I understand you're all cozy in there, hon, but you gotta come out, come join the party. There's also one more clove out. Might as well just add it in, right? My trusty onion container. Anytime you guys see this, you're like, what is that? Is that a real onion? No, it just stores any onion that I have chopped and left over. I think I got, oh goodness, I actually got mine at the grocery store maybe a very long time ago. And it's so good, I love it. And I'm just gonna take my onion, I'm gonna quarter it, gonna add it in, and I'm just gonna let this cook until I'm gonna bring it to a boil and let it simmer 10 minutes. All right, it's been 10 minutes. I'm just gonna add all of this gorgeousness into a blender. I just add the whole jalapeno because I like it spicy, and it's gonna get blended up anyway, so you won't miss anything else. Now, I don't like to add lime to my salsa verde. For some reason, I find that it gets too acidic, maybe because of the tomatillos, because tomatillos aren't really sweet. So I don't typically add lime, but I am gonna serve this with some a quick pickled onion, which all I did was I sliced some red onion really thinly, and I went ahead and juiced a whole lime over it, and it's just been sitting here doing its thing. It kind of is just gonna mellow out the onion, and it's gonna be fabulous. So when I add some of this on top, it kind of gives me a little bit of brightness. But I do like to add cilantro, and for my seasoning, I use chicken bouillon powder, but you can use salt. But of course, lid on. I'm just gonna go ahead and pulse this until it's a nice salsa. Let's see, which do I want to press? Let's press this one. My salsa is ready, and let me tell you, it is so delicious. It would be good on anything and everything. It would be good on chips. It would be good on seafood. It would be good in tacos. It would be good on everything. It's probably something that you might want to keep on hand. What I do, I might do a whole other video on this. I do make a salsa verde to eat with chips and stuff, but it's got avocado in it, and that has a lot of lime in it, and it is literally to die for. But now I'm gonna make the chips. You can buy, a bag of store-bought chips and use those. I don't prefer it. I don't feel like they hold up as well. I don't feel like they taste as good. It's just not my preference. So what I do is I take some like plain oil, canola, vegetable, something neutral. Add it to a skillet, and then you take your corn tortillas. I do love corn tortillas for this. I go ahead and I just quarter them, nice and small, my sister would say. And in batches, I'm gonna go ahead and drop them into my skillet and cook them until they become nice and golden on both sides. And then I remove them onto a plate as I keep making others. And I'm telling you, I know it's an extra step because you can buy a bag of pre-made chips and do this with, but there's just no comparison in the flavor and texture. I feel like the ones that you buy in the bag, they just get so soggy so quickly and they end up having not much flavor. So just do it this way. It makes a world of a difference. I'm just waiting for my oil to come to temperature. Certainly not there yet, but it will be. Careful, these will splatter. So I just do whatever fits in the skillet, I do that. They don't take very long at all to get golden brown and crispy. They don't take very long at all, so just keep your eye on them. Don't overcrowd the skillet because I've done that because, you know, I'm impatient. And then what happens is some of them will all clump together and then they'll be soggy in the middle and nobody wants that. So you're just gonna keep your eye on these, let them turn a lovely golden color. And then you're pretty much good to go. Taking the last few out, and I like to hit every batch with a bit of salt. There's a lot of oil in here. I don't need it. I'm gonna just remove it and I'm gonna leave behind like a little bit, you know, a little teeny tiny. But I'm also gonna get the skillet back here, ready? And to that, I'll add a little bit of oil because I'm gonna fry an egg. And I really would like to eat this salsa by itself because it's that good. I'm actually just gonna grab a chip while I wait for my oil to preheat. Okay. I'm not talking. Uovo. Ramekin. Now, there are very many ways to eat a chilaquiles. Some people like it with a fried egg, such as myself. Some people like it with scrambled eggs. Don't mistake chilaquiles with migas. Migas, you would scramble the eggs with the tortillas in the pan, serve salsa on the side. We are doing saucy tortillas, crispy, laced egg on top, nice and just runny yolk, deliciousness, pickled onions, queso fresco, cilantro on top. Absolute heaven. You have got to trust me on this, okay? My skillet is preheating, feels pretty hot. It's not too hot yet, but it'll do its thing. Don't worry. That's gonna get it all lacy and delicious and crispy around the edges and phenomenal. Trust you me. In the meantime, in here, we add salsa. I'm gonna do a little bit because right now, I only wanna do enough for one serving. I'm gonna flip them a roux. Let me tell you something. Not many things have made me as happy as this 4-burner cooktop to cook for you, with you, I should say. I love it. I can see everything. I can move things around how I want to. I don't have to stop to go back there. It's awesome. I love it. So happy with it. I'm so happy that I can show you every step of everything. So the egg is coming along. The egg is literally going to take 2 minutes. I'm just going to crank that up because I really want the edges to get really nice and crispy. Salsa is good to go. I'm not going to add my tortillas until my egg is just about ready. Otherwise, they'll get too soggy. You have to find that perfect in between the tortillas being too crispy versus them being really soggy. You have to find that perfect in between balance. That egg is looking good. I'm going to say that's got another minute or so. And I like to kind of tilt it and let the oil coat on the top because I'm not going to flip this. So I don't know if you saw it, but if you look over here, watch what happens to this oil on the egg. see how it kind of starts to coat the egg? It kind of gets on top. It starts cooking it from the top. Perfect. Let's go over here, do the salsa. Adding my tortillas. You can add more salsa if you want to. This is plenty. Trust me. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough, but it will be. Once you crank the heat back up and everything starts to bubble, my mouth is watering. It's so good. It'll be so delicious. So let that bubble away. This is ready. I'm just going to take some queso fresco. Nice new package. Gotta love it. If you don't want to do queso fresco and you want to do a melting cheese, a little Oaxaca, a little Monterey Jack, anything that you like that melts really well, that's what I would suggest. Other than that, I mean, this is looking super good, super saucy. Look at my egg doing really beautiful things. I'm gonna give everything, I'm gonna turn the egg off in like 10 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and just move it around. That's probably gonna need another minute, and then we plate, and then we are done. That is kind of perfect. You see how the tortilla is soft, but it's not totally mushy, but that's totally optional. That's up to you. That depends on how you like your tortillas. I don't like mine super mushy because I'm a texture person. I've talked about this probably 700 times here on my channel. I am a texture fanatic, so I'm just gonna take my egg. I poked it, but it's okay. It's all good. You put that crispy egg right on the top. We're gonna top it with some of the pickled onions. And the lime from the onions will sort of sink into the whole thing and be really lovely and beautiful and delicious. A little bit of your queso fresco. I mean, this is just making me so happy. It's like brunch in the city, baby. What Mia would say, it looks like rock and roll, baby. When something is like really fun, it looks really good, she'll say, it looks like rock and roll, baby. And that is how I like to make my chilaquiles with salsa verde, fried egg on top, nice and oozy, and we've got those pickled onions that are just gonna give you a little bit of brightness and just, they're to die for. They are to die for. Take a look at them, study them, because everything is about to get destroyed. So let's take one more look at what you're gonna be getting this weekend if you decide to make your very own chilaquiles at home. A little extra queso fresco on top. Perfection. Let's dive in. If you don't like a runny egg, you don't have to eat it as runny as I like mine. The bottom is really lovely and crispy. I call that a lacy egg because it kind of resembles lace when it's done. It's not the prettiest thing to eat, I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'm certainly not a pretty eater, but it does not matter. It does not matter because that is the best version of chilaquiles in my opinion. Go to laurainthekitchen.com for the written recipe. I really hope you make these this weekend. Hope you enjoy spending time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.